a by a square plus b square minus b by a square plus b square. Find a and b. A means real part, but 1 by z will not be in standard form. To reduce it into standard form, you need to rationalize the a by a square plus b square minus b by a square plus b square into I. Substitute the values of a, b. But yes, students, if z is a plus ib, what is z inverse? So I'll take it as 0. Can I write like this? Because always any complex number should be in the form a plus ib. You know 1 by a plus ib is not in standard form. I told you standard form means I should be numerator. Welcome to the session, dear students. In my last class, I taught you different forms of complex numbers. Today we'll go ahead with problems of the exercise of finding multiplicative inverse of a complex number. So now in exercise 5.1, they're asking you to find multiplicative inverse. Before we go to this, first understand if z is a plus ib, then z inverse, multiplicative inverse, z inverse is 1 by z. What is 1 by z? 1 by a plus ib. You know 1 by a plus ib is not in standard form. I told you standard form means I should be numerator. So now we should rationalize. So if you rationalize 1 divided by a plus ib into a minus ib by a minus ib. Rationalizing factor is what? A minus ib. If you multiply these two, z inverse is equal to, numerator is a minus ib, denominator a plus b into a minus b. What is a plus b into a minus b? A square minus b square. A square minus ib the whole square. That is a minus ib divided by a square minus I square is minus 1 minus b square. So it will become a minus ib divided by a square plus b square. Now split this. If you split, finally z inverse, if I split and write, z inverse is a divided by a square plus b square minus b divided by a square plus b square into I. This is z inverse. A by a square plus b square minus b by a square plus b square into I. For any complex number a plus ib, we can find inverse by rationalizing. So now z is a plus ib. This is given. Z inverse is what? 1 by z, 1 by this. So how to find this? Rationalize. What is rationalizing factor? A minus ib. Divide and multiply by a minus ib. Numerator will be a minus ib. Denominator is in the form a plus b into a minus b. It will become a square minus b square. So a square is as it is. Ib the whole square becomes I square b square. I square is what? All of you know. I is equal to root of minus 1. What is I square? Minus 1. Simplify, you'll get it. So now directly, so I derived it. Always you no need to sit and derive. Directly you can write. So if z is a plus ib, its inverse is a by a square plus b square minus b by a square plus b square. I can say this is r square, modulus square. So now we'll conclude that. So now write down this conclusion, all of you. If z is a plus ib, if z is in this form, then z inverse is 1 by z. 1 by z if you simplify, z inverse will become a divided by a square plus b square minus b divided by a square plus b square into ib. So I into, you can say, this is the inverse. So memorize this, you will save the time. What is z inverse? A by a square plus b square minus ib by a square plus b square. If z is a plus ib, so just pick a and b from it and substitute in the formula. And z, multiplicative inverse of z is 1 by z, but 1 by z will not be in standard form. To reduce it into standard form, you need to rationalize. That's what I've done. After you rationalize, you will get the answer as a by a square plus b square minus b by a square plus b square into I. Remember this. So now we'll start solving the problems. Now I'll start with the first problem. What is the first problem? Z is equal to 4 minus 3i. Now they want multiplicative inverse. They want you to find what? Multiplicative inverse. First I'll do by long method, then we'll use formula method. Multiplicative inverse. What is multiplicative inverse? Multiplicative inverse of Z is Z inverse. Z inverse is 1 by Z. Z inverse is 1 by Z, that is 1 by 4 minus 3a. This is Z inverse. But this Z inverse is not in standard form. I told you any complex number should be in A plus IB form. So first you convert it. So now we got this Z inverse. We'll try to write this in standard form. What is Z inverse we got? Z inverse is 1 divided by 4 minus 3i. Now it is not in standard form. So rationalize. So what is the rationalizing factor? Divide and multiply. Divide and multiply this with what? 4 plus 3i by 4 plus 3i. So you got Z inverse here. Z inverse is obtained here, but it's not in standard form. So how to reduce it into standard form? Standard form means A plus IB form. So rationalize. What is rationalizing factor for 4 plus 3i? 4 minus 3i. For A plus IB, A minus IB is rationalizing factor. For A minus IB, rationalizing factor is A plus IB. For 4 minus 3i, rationalizing factor is 4 plus 3i. Now we'll continue. So numerator, if I multiply 1 into 4 plus 3i is 4 plus 3i. Denominator is in the form A plus B into A minus B. A plus B into A minus B is A square minus B square. That will become 4 plus 3i divided by 4 square is 16 minus 3 square I square. Further, that is Z inverse is equal to 4 plus 3i divided by 16 minus 3 square is 9, I square is minus 1. So it will become 4 plus 3i divided by 16 plus 9, 25. So now you got Z inverse. So Z inverse is finally 4 plus 3i by 25. I'll write 4 by 25 plus 3 by 25i. This is the answer. We got Z inverse. So Z is 4 plus 3i. Take the given problem as that. Multiplicative inverse means reciprocal. So Z inverse, we read this as Z inverse. Z inverse is 1 by Z. I wrote the Z inverse, but it is not in standard form. Any problem should be in A plus IB form. To make this in A plus IB form, rationalize. Rationalizing factor for 4 minus 3i is 4 plus 3i. Divide and multiply by 4 plus 3i, and you'll get this. So one method I have done. I'll teach you alternate method. Now we got the answer, 4 by 25 plus 3 by 25i. So now we'll go to the formula method. We'll go to the formula method. Let me erase this, and I've done the problem, and now I'll go to the formula method. So let me write the formula, memorize the formula, apply the formula directly, you'll get the answer. That is one technique, is solving by rationalizing. We have done rationalizing. I have completed the problem. For every problem you have alternate methods. So one method is, in Z inverse is simple, reciprocal of Z. So Z inverse, in multiplicative inverse of Z is 1 by Z. My dear students, what is multiplication of multiplicative inverse of Z? 1 by Z. That is a basic I took and I solved, and I got this answer. So now I got this answer by taking the basic. So now alternate method. One method I solved. Nodi one method al solve madidri. Z ಕೊಟ್ಟಿದ್ರು. Multiplicative inverse ಅಂದ್ರೆ 1 by Z ಅಂತ ತಗೊಳ್ತೀವಿ. ಅದನ್ನ rationalize ಮಾಡಿದ್ವಿ, ಇದು ಬಂದಿದೆ. Other method is formula method. So if Z is A plus IB, then Z inverse, multiplicative inverse is A divided by A square plus B square minus B divided by A square plus B square into a direct formula method. Faster. Now we'll take the given problem. Let me take the given problem and we'll solve. What is given problem? 4 plus 3i, 4 minus 3i. So Z is given. What is Z given? 4 minus 3i. Now in this, what is A? A is 4. What is B? B is minus 3. Now find A square plus B square. What is A square plus B square? 4 square plus minus 3 whole square. What is 4 square? 16. 16 plus 9, 25. You got. So a square plus b square is 25. Now go to z inverse. What is multiplicative inverse? Multiplicative inverse is a divided by a square plus b square minus b divided by a square plus b square into I. This is the multiplicative inverse. Here what is a? 4. What is b? So check the values. So here take the values. What is the value of a? Value of a is 4. What is the value of b? Value of b is 3. Substitute in the formula. We got a square plus b square. A square plus b square is 25. So let us substitute these values. So z inverse is a divided by, what is a? 4 divided by a square plus b square, 25, minus, what is b? B is minus 3. Minus 3 divided by a square plus b square, 25 I. So finally you got z inverse. What is z inverse? 4 by 25 minus of minus becomes plus 3 by 25 I. My dear students, in the first case what we got and in the second case what we got are the same. First case I got z inverse as, what is z inverse? 4 by 25 plus 3 by 25 by rationalizing. Now in second case I got 4 by 25 plus 3 by 25. Are they same or not? So any method you can use. So z na a plus ib ತಗೊಂಡು rationalize ಮಾಡಿ z inverse find out ಮಾಡಬಹುದು ಅಥವಾ ಫಾರ್ಮುಲಾ ಬರಿಬಹುದು. What is z inverse? A by a square plus b square minus b by a square plus b square. Find a and b. A means real part. First assume it is in a plus ib and write it. Sometimes problem will not be in a plus ib form. They are inevitable to rationalize. That's why you should know both the methods. Now next question. Directly we'll go by formula method for this because it's in a plus ib form. Given question, take it as z. What is z given? Root 5 plus 3i. Now is it in the form a plus ib? Yes, it is in the form a plus ib. What is a? A is root 5. My method of comparison. Quotient 5 is 3. B is what? 3. I got ab. So now multiplicative inverse, write the formula. Write the formula, in 1 second you will get the answer. What is the multiplicative inverse? So multiplicative inverse z inverse is equal to a by a square plus b square minus in the formula b by a square plus b square into I. This is the formula. What is a, my dear students? Root 5 by, find a square plus b square also here. What is a square plus b square? Root 5 the whole square plus 3 square. You know root 5 the whole square, square root cancels. 5 plus 9. 5 plus 9 is 14. So 5 by 14 minus a by and b by, sorry, minus b by it is. So this is not b square, this is what? B by. So b by, what is b? 14. 14 divided by, sorry, what is b? Sorry, b is what? 3. B is 3. 3 by 14 I. This is z inverse. This is your answer. I'm using the formula. What is the formula? We are using the formula. What is the formula? Formula is z inverse is equal to what? A by a square plus b square minus b by a square plus b square into I. After you use the formula, you got the answer. What is the answer you got? You got the answer as what? Z inverse is this. Root 5 by 14 minus 3 by root 14 I. Just plug in the values of a, b. Any doubts? So first given problem I took z is equal to root 5 plus 3i. It is in the form a plus ib. A is root 5, b is quotient of 3. Then find a square plus b square, it will become 14. Formula, what is z inverse? A by a square plus b square minus b by a square plus b square into I. Substitute the values of a, b. That's it. What is the other method? Rationalize. You can do rationalizing. Take this inverse is 1 by z and rationalize. That is also fine. Next, they give minus I. What is minus I? So take the given problem, z is equal to minus I. Can I write this as z is equal to 0 plus minus 1 into I? What is 0 plus into minus is minus. So instead of they have not given a, so I'll take it as 0. Can I write like this? Because always any complex number should be in the form a plus ib. So I'll write this in the form a plus ib. It is easy to write in a plus b. I wrote it. Now compare it with what? A plus ib. In the place of a we have 0. In the place of b we have quotient of I, that is minus 1. You got a and b. Now you go to find a square plus b square. What is a square plus b square? So a is what? 0. 0 square plus b. B is what? Minus 1. Minus 1 the whole square. That will give you 0 plus negative the whole square is positive 1. You got a square plus b square. What is a square plus b square value? 1. Further, inverse. So multiplicative inverse. They want you to find multiplicative inverse. That is z inverse. Write the formula. What is the formula for multiplicative inverse? A by a square plus b square minus b by a square plus b square into I. What is a value? 0. 0 divided by a square plus b square is 1 minus b. B is what? Minus 1 divided by 1 I. So it will become 0 plus 1 I. So final answer is I. So what is multiplicative inverse? That inverse is I. Actually minus I is 1 by I. 1 by I into this gives you 1. This is one method. Other method is what? If you don't want to use formula, so z is given minus I and z inverse, multiplicative inverse is 1 by z. Answer is 1 by z. 1 by minus I. 1 by minus I is not in standard form, so rationalize. What is the rationalizing factor? If you want to eliminate I, divide and multiply by I. If you do that, numerator becomes I, denominator becomes minus I square. That will become I divided by minus of minus 1. You know I means root of minus 1 and I square is always minus 1. So you'll get the value of z inverse. Z inverse is I by 1. So z inverse is I. Minus of minus becomes plus 1. So you got I. By rationalizing, notice z inverse andre always remember z inverse. Z inverse means 1 by z. What is z inverse? 1 by z. Remember z inverse is 1 by z. So it's very important. Z inverse value 1 by z ಆಗುತ್ತೆ. You got 1 by z. 1 by z 1 by minus I ಆಗುತ್ತೆ. Z is minus I. But it was not in standard form. To get it into standard form, rationalize. For I, rationalizing factor is I by I. Divide and multiply by I by I. You'll get the answer. So finally you'll get what? I. This is the inverse. You can do like this, or you can use the formula a by a square plus b square minus b by a square plus b square. Anything fine. Next, fourth question. So here the question is little complicated. If you want to find inverse, see to it problem should be in a plus ib form. If problem is not in standard form, what is standard form? A plus ib form. First you have to reduce it into standard form, then you should go for inverse. So now I'll take the given problem z. What is z given? 3 plus I root 5 into 3 minus I root 5 divided by root 3 plus root 2I minus root 3 minus I root. This is the problem given. First let us reduce this problem to a plus ib form. So numerator is interesting. Numerator is in the form a plus b into a minus b. All of you know what is a plus b into a minus b. What is a plus b into a minus b? A plus b into a minus b is what? A square minus b square. A plus b into a minus b is a square minus b square. So we'll use that. Numerator is in the form a plus b into a minus b. So a square minus b square. So 3 square minus I root 5 the whole square. Divided by, expand this. So it will become root 3 plus root 2i minus root 3 plus I root 2 or root 2i. Now observe carefully, you can cancel the terms. Positive root 3, negative root 3 cancels. You have like terms now. Rewrite the like terms. So z is equal to numerator a square minus b square. A square is 9 minus b square means I square root 5 the whole square divided by denominator root 2i plus root 2i. Root 2i plus root 2i is 2 root 2i. Simplify this, it will become 9 minus 1 into root 5 the whole square is 5 divided by 2 root 2i. So it will become 9 minus 5. 9 minus 5 is 4. 4 by 2 root 2i. So 2 ones are 2 twos are. And you know 2 can be written as or rationalize this. 2 divided by root 2i. This is your z. So now observe, is z in a plus ib form? No. First you convert it into a plus ib form. I yavaglu denominator irbardu. I should not be in denominator. If I is in denominator, you have to rationalize. So now let us convert this. Z is equal to 2 divided by root 2i. I'll divide and multiply by what? Root 2i. Rationalizing factor is root 2i. Numerator becomes 2 root 2i. Denominator becomes root 2 whole square into I square. Further simplify this. It will become 2 root 2i by root 2 the whole square is 2. I square is minus 1. Now 2 cancels. You are left out with minus root 2i. Now this is your z. My dear students will get saturated. ಇಲ್ಲಿ ತನಕ ಮಾಡಿ ಇಲ್ಲಿಗೆ ಸ್ಟಾಪ್ ಮಾಡ್ಬಿಡ್ತಾರೆ. ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಬರೀ z ಬಂದಿದೆ. You got only value of z. You have to find what? Inverse. So now inverse is simple. You have to rationalize. See, after you rationalize this, I got this. So multiplicative inverse is reciprocal. And that reciprocal again you can rationalize. So now you got z inverse. What is z inverse? Z you got minus root 2i. Now it is in the form a plus ib form. So now let me erase this part. I think till that you understood what I have done. So now I'll take z and I'll find z inverse in one step. So you can rationalize that, or again rationalizing is headache. So what we do, we'll write z inverse in a simple technique, that is, so now what is your z you got? Z in bandide minus root 2i bandide. So minus root 2i, it is in standard form. Is it in the form a plus ib form, or can I write this? Can I write this further? Further can I write it as 0 plus minus root 2i? 0 plus minus root 2i is minus root 2i. Now it is in the form a plus ib. What is a? 0. What is b? Minus root 2. What is a square plus b square? A square plus b square is 0 square plus minus root 2 the whole square. Now it is 0 plus minus the whole square is plus root 2 square is to 2. So now we got a square plus b square. What is the z inverse? What is the z inverse? Let me erase this. I think you have copied this or you have learned all these things. So now we'll go to the last part, that is finding z inverse. My dear students, if z is a plus ib, what is z inverse? If z is a plus ib, z inverse is is equal to a by a square plus b square minus b by a square plus b square into I. What is a value? A value is exactly 0 divided by a square plus b square is 2 minus b. B is what? Minus root 2 divided by 2i. So 0 by anything is 0. Minus of minus plus root 2 by 2i. So final answer is root 2 by 2i. You know, denominator can also be written as root 2 divided by root 2 whole square. 2 can be written as any root 2 can be written as root 2 whole square, because root 2 whole square is what? 2. So I can cancel 1 2. So that implies z inverse is I by root 2. Z inverse is I by root 2. Or simply speaking, z is minus root 2i. It's reciprocal. That's it. And I and minus 1 by I. Very important shortcut, you can add this. Minus I is 1 by I. minus I is 1 by I. So these are the techniques to find, and we got Z inverse. So in today's class, I taught multiplicative inverse. If Z is equal to A plus IB, 1 by Z is multiplicative inverse. We write Z power minus 1. Z power minus 1 is Z inverse. Z power minus 1 is read as Z inverse 1 by Z, and I give formula A by A square plus B square minus B by A square plus B square. Anything is fine. So let me summarize. If Z is A plus IB, Z inverse, how to read this? Z inverse is 1 by Z. Our same Z inverse shortcut is what? A by A square plus B square minus B by A square plus B square I is the shortcut. So these are three things. So we call this to us what? Inverse. Inverse of Z. So become thorough. I've done standard problems that are given in the exercise. Practice them. Thanks for attending the session. I'll see you in my next session. Thank you.